You're in for a rough ride.
A rough ride?
Like, I will put you through your paces.
Definitely. But I'm happy, like. Are you happy?
I am.
Are you ready for a ride?
I am.
The producers are messy. The producers and the experts are messy. Because what are they trying to do to poor Adam? What are they trying to do? Because they are bringing these banging brunettes after he said all that crap and they've dragged him through the mud for it. And now they're bringing all these banging brunettes for him to watch and realize that actually some guys won the lottery. But at the end of the day, if you look at the girls, the amazing banging girls that have been matched with the brunettes, they are matched with amazing guys. So hopefully that doesn't humble him any further. Do I say? Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK Season 9 Episode 14. Say it if nobody else wants to say it. The producers are the ones that have matched the couples. It's not the experts this season, because it does not make any sense. It doesn't, because the things that they're finding as reasons why these people should be matched don't make sense. So you've got Ryan, who's 28. He's a bin man. He's had bladder cancer at 22 and is in remission for the past 3 years. He's a single dad. He's got a son he's got from a previous relationship. They match him with Shannon, a 29-year-old, whose dad was diagnosed with cancer during the lockdown and is still grieving that she didn't get to spend a lot of time with her dad after his diagnosis or before the diagnosis. And so for them to think that's something that will bond them doesn't make sense. She's lost her dad to cancer, something that happened unexpectedly, and suddenly you're matching her with a young man who's 28 years old and has already had, his first go at cancer, and there is always a possibility that he might have another go. So what in that makes you think that, oh, okay, she's dealt with grief, let's align her to someone where there's a possibility that she might have to grieve again if he is diagnosed with cancer? Why? What about that makes sense? They say, oh, he's got the emotional intelligence because of his experience, him being sick and stuff, and he's a dad, so that... No! That doesn't make sense. Yes, he's able to empathize. Yes, he's able to empathize with her situation, but as she said, she wants to live with the possibility of having to deal with or having to be in a relationship with someone who was diagnosed with, might be or might have, cancer again. Is that what she asked for? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's like... And she is saying she's always dated, pretty boys, which means she's very superficial. Yes, he is good looking. Do I think he needed to be on MAFS? I don't think so. I think it's good for him in the sense of career-wise. If he's looking at branching out and doing something else outside of a bin man, yes, this will be good for him because he'll get modeling opportunities because of how pretty he is. But do I think he needed the show to find a partner? No, I do not. No, I do not. And sadly, he's coming onto this show. He's going to leave there with a lot of baggage because he's going to be dealing with someone who comes with a lot of baggage herself. A lot of baggage. I don't know. Anyway, you have Ross and Sasha. They're getting ready for her parents to come. And so she sort of gives Ross a heads up that normally we're very touchy-feely. Please make sure that you do not do that while my dad is here because he will feel some type of way. And it's like, what does he think? What does he think is happening with his daughter then? I really feel for Casper. Normally I don't, but I really feel for Casper because you have, him and his wife Emma. They're expecting family to come and visit. I was a bit curious last week because we only got one family visit, but hey, I guess they were saving it for this week. So you have Emma's sister and friend come to visit, and Casper is expecting his friend. I'm surprised he didn't bring his sister. I think he couldn't deal with having his sister and his wife in the same room. Anyway, so when the sister and friend arrive, they then ask, how is life going? How was the honeymoon? And Emma sort of starts off by describing the venue. And then eventually said, oh, we had a bit of a barmy, we fell out. And then it comes out that, Casper said he doesn't normally like, or he hasn't dated a curvy woman. And so for the sister and the friend, their jaws are on the floor. And the sister actually says, this is not a nice comment. That's not a nice thing to say. And Casper says, I understand. I take ownership of it and I'm sorry. The friend was furious. I think if there were no cameras there, I think the friend would have really dragged Casper for filth. And I'm surprised that they decided to be very mature and not say anything inappropriate on TV. But hey, it is what it is. Casper wanted the floor to eat him up because he kept saying, I hate the fact that we're having to rehash this. You know, we've already dealt with it. Now everyone else coming in, we're constantly having to address this. And I'm constantly having to discuss the fact that I made this negative comment about my wife. And it's like, well, you have to own your crap. You said it, so you have to deal with the consequences of the words that came out of your mouth. You might not mean it now, but sadly, you said it the first time. She heard it and she's going to hold on to that. And the only way you can sort of get away from that is try and deal with it and sort of move on from it, because the more you sit on it, the more difficult it's going to be to sort of get rid of it. His friend sort of came in and Casper was sad because his friend wasn't there when the two girls came in, so which meant that they had to rehash it. And when you look at Casper and his friend, they're not, the next top model. So it makes you question that looking like that, why would Casper expect, to marry a size 6? Even, you have Emma ask the friend that at the wedding, I asked you, what is Casper's type? And you said Casper doesn't have a type. Well, apparently he does have a type. And Casper, you could see he was just embarrassed. I think Casper's thing is, it's not that he has a type. I think it's the fact that his wife reminds him of his sister, and because his wife reminds him of his sister, instead of getting over whatever trauma or issues he has with his sister, he's decided to sort of hold on to that and make that an excuse as to why he's not attracted to his wife. Because I think Emma would have been amazing. She comes across as very loving, caring, very patient actually, and empathetic. So I don't get what he doesn't see in her that we the viewers see, and hopefully he'll be able to overcome that, because otherwise he's going to struggle to find a skinny, girl that likes him. At the end of the day, with hormones, women, our bodies change. So just because she's skinny when he marries her doesn't mean she's going to stay skinny. She might end up doubling in weight and end up looking like Emma. Emma might go the opposite way. So he really needs to be open-minded about what he's looking for in a partner. He really does. Otherwise, he's in for a bumpy road as a single man. So you have Ross and Sasha, they are waiting for her parents to come. I'm surprised it's her parents that came and his family didn't come, unless they're coming at a later date, or unless they came before this and the experts, the producers wanted a sit down with the dad without anybody else. And for me, it was aux galore, in the sense that you could see the way Sasha kept going on, oh, you have to impress my dad, you have to impress my dad, you have to impress my dad. And it's like, but he's not going to live with your dad though. He's not. Let's be honest, he's not going to live with your dad. Your dad is going to go home to his wife and you are going to stay with your husband. So I don't get why it's such a big deal that he really has to impress your dad. Your dad, his opinion counts, but at the end of the day, if you're happy, your dad will be happy for you, regardless of what his opinion is, if he loves you as much as you say he does. Anyway, the mother is like, oh, he's very protective. He's going to be very protective of his little girl. Yes, most dads are. And for the dad to say, let's go to the gym for a workout, it's like, oh my God, he's really taking him into the deep end, because they had a conversation that, Ross used to play soccer, but has stopped and now is into bodybuilding and, not bodybuilding per se, but he's more into the gym. And so the dad, I think, wanted to suss him out to see how strong he is. And it's like, as long as you can lift your daughter, that's it. He doesn't even need to lift her. So why are we making such a big deal? So finally, it's Shannon and Ryan's wedding day. And what do I think? I think they are two very pretty people, but the sad bit is one of them is very shallow. I'm going to say that. I think Shannon is very shallow. She must have asked for a pretty boy to the experts. Now she's got a pretty boy. She's throwing a fit. Anyway, so you have her sitting with her friends and she's saying she's dealt with a lot of F-boys. She's dealt with a lot of pretty boys and she doesn't want those. She really wants someone who's really committed to the process. And it's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but are you committed to the process? Are you in this for the right reasons? Are you going to do everything that needs to be done in order to make this marriage work? Why are you being, yeah, it's good to be skeptical, but still try and have an open mind if you're going to, enter a process like this, because you cannot control what somebody else does. You can only control yourself. Even if he were not a pretty boy and you're someone who's highly educated and whatever, look at Casper. Look at what Casper's been up to. He's been showing his ass. And so there is no right or wrong way for someone to look in order for them to sort of, be loyal, faithful, supportive, and everything else. Anyway, they turn up for the wedding, and it's like, she's one to talk. What happened to the rest of her skirt? What happened to the rest of the skirt for the dress? The way she's dressed, he could have easily said, that's not what I'm looking for in a wife. But he didn't. He was there. He's willing to go through the process. Yeah, he might be there for clicks and likes, but still, he's willing to go through with it. He isn't judging her. Why is she judging him? Because her mother even said, my concern is that as soon as Shannon sees her groom, her face is going to say exactly how she feels. And it really made Ryan very uncomfortable from the way she looked at him, the way she was sort of tensing around and sort of asking, what are we doing here? And it's like, Sherlock Holmes, what do you think? You auditioned for a show, you signed on the dotted line. What do you think you're there to do? It's too late for you to ask, what are we doing now? Either say yes or say no, and let's keep it moving. Her vows was, I want a man that's supportive and stuff. And it's like, well, maybe tell him about yourself, because he doesn't know who you are. Maybe it's not about what you want. Maybe it's about you sort of introducing yourself and letting him know who you are, letting him know your character. Then you can ask him what you want him to bring. Because what if he had turned around and said, no, I don't possess all those qualities that you've asked for? What was she going to do? Turn around and leave? Make it make sense? I don't get it. And I'm so, I really am. Not that I'm on pins and needles, but I'm just side-eyeing this couple, because it could go one of two ways. She could become the next Rochelle, or if she settles down and humbles herself and gets to know this guy, she might actually see a very good guy. I don't know how she's going to react to him having had cancer and always having the cancer thing hanging over his head, whether she's going to be open to sort of building a connection with someone like that, given her own grief, or whether she's going to say, no, this is a bit too much for me. I want to pack my bags and go home. The family visits were a bit strange, because you have, on one hand, you have Ross, working out with Sasha's dad, and then eventually they have a conversation. And Ross is actually able to sort of speak up for himself and say that, I understand as a father to a daughter that, you are anxious about your daughter marrying the stranger. Will the stranger be able to look after your daughter? And I want you to know that my goal is to make her happy and to protect her, because I have a daughter and I wouldn't want somebody else to treat my daughter in any way that I disapprove of. Which the dad, you could see, was anxious. I think the dad's anxiety wasn't that he didn't think Ross was a good guy. I think his anxiety was realizing that he was going to have to let his daughter go because she had found her match. Because you also had Sasha telling her mom that he is it. I don't think I can do any better than this guy. So that was a very good family visit, because you can see that these two people really like one another, and their family are coming to the realization that we're actually about to lose her because this man is it for her. Whereas with Casper and Emma, Casper's friend is trying to sort of make Casper understand that he's not going to always get what he wants. He needs to be open-minded. He needs to be open to getting to know what makes Emma tick, who is Emma as a person, and he might be surprised that he might really like her. He does say that at times, he gets the urge to want to kiss her, but because he's burnt bridges by telling her he's not attracted to curvy girls, it's a bit difficult for her to sort of take that. And she already said at the commitment ceremony that she's not open to him just coming all of a sudden and suddenly kissing her. So he's made his bed. He has to lay in it. How he's going to do that, nobody knows. But somehow he's going to have to go cap in hand to Emma and sort of say, I'm sorry for what I did. Please, let's make things work. And hopefully she will be open to making things work, because she's really been through a lot. And no one deserves to go through that. And the problem is her friend is telling her that, I don't think Casper is your guy. And it's like Casper's burnt bridges. He's burnt bridges. Because of that, if the friends and family are saying no, there's no way you can see her changing her mind, because she's already considering writing leave. And so once she writes leave, there's no going back. And sadly, because of his trauma and his bad relationship with his sister that he didn't deal with before he came into the experiment, he's going to lose an amazing girl, which is really sad for him, because I don't know where he's going to be able to find someone who will like him for the man that he is, especially with this now following him, with this tag of having said on national TV that he doesn't fancy his wife because he doesn't like curvy girls, because all the curvy girls are going to stay clear, and even the petite girls are going to stay clear, because they're going to think, what if I gain weight? Will he sort of wake up one morning and say, you're not my type? I don't get it. So finally, Shannon and Ryan get to sit down and have a conversation, because Shannon was sort of not into her husband. He really liked her on sight, but she wasn't feeling him. So during the pictures, it was orcs galore. And then they sat down and they were having a conversation, and he sort of asked, because apparently the mother was sitting at the high table, and it's like, this is a bit too much. Does she not have any friends? Why didn't her mother stay at the table down with even his family? So he sort of asked your dad, how does your dad feel about this? Because he didn't know. And then she said, oh, my dad passed away. And that sort of took him aback. He had to take a moment to sort of think, oh my God, what did I do? I put my foot in it. And then she explained that her dad had cancer and he died of cancer. And so he was then able to open the door and sort of say, I was diagnosed with cancer as well. I've had it twice, and he's only 28. So between the ages of 26 and 28, it seems he's had to sort of get treatment for cancer twice. And that sort of allowed her to lower her guard. And she sort of realized that, oh, actually, this guy, first she was taken aback when he said he was a bin man, and then realizing that, this is what he's battled, I think made her realize that maybe there's substance to him. Maybe I underestimated him. And so it was good that she lowered her guard and actually spoke with him. And then she spoke with her mom, because don't get me wrong, I think he's an amazing guy. I think he's someone who's been through a lot of life experiences that have made him become down to earth and want to be the best version of himself. But also, I think he's seen this as an opportunity to sort of bring himself out of where he is at this point in time, in the sense that out of the job that he's currently doing, because with the way he looks, he'll create awareness. He'll be able to do cancer awareness campaigns and stuff, and hopefully get money for that. He'll be able to model for as long as he's in remission. So I think there's two sides to him. I think, yes, he's come into the perks that comes with being on the show, but I also feel like he's decided he needs someone. He wants to create a bond, and he wants to start a family of his own, and he thinks this is the fastest way he can do it. And if that's the fastest way for him to do it, amazing. I wish him all the best. I don't know how they'll cope with it, the two of them. I really don't know how they'll cope with it. I wish them all the best, and I hope they're able to sort of find a way to sort of get over any obstacles that might stand in the way. But it's going to be challenging for them. It's going to be challenging for them to sort of overcome this and sort of find a way forward. I don't know. I loved that at the end they were in very good books. I loved it, and they were actually very cute. They were very cute in themselves. So I really hope they're able to sort of make this work for both their sakes. The fact that he has a child, she loved that as well, because it meant he had responsibility, and so he was someone who was more mature than she thought. I can't wait to see what happens. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 13. Bye guys.